heading toward another war right here.
Yeah.
In the good old U.S. of A.
Been preaching it. We're due for one. We're due for one. We're due for it. I'm telling you, we're due for it. I think eventually this bubble's going to pop. That's my theory. I don't think that this can go on for too much longer. I give it like to 2030 before. I mean, I don't think we're going to make it to that far, but we're on a slippery slope towards another civil war. And I'm not going to say I'm cool with that. I think a lot of people think they want it, but I don't think they're ready for the type of environment and the people who operate in environments like that. I don't think they're ready for that. You know, the last thing, and I was talking to my wife about it, the last thing you want is guys like me out on the streets fighting a war with no rules of engagement, where I make up my own. And you don't want that. The average civilian's not ready for that. Like, why is Nick doing that? Why did Nick do this to me? Because only Nick matters. Only my family. At the end of the day, yeah, guerrilla warfare is a bitch. And you're my friend one moment, but the next moment, if you got something I want or I need to take care of my family, I won't let you know about it. And I'm going to kill the block. That's the way it should be. That's war.
Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who are the apostles and elders of Vasharala. Peace and salutations to the Bayath Dawadah, the house of David of Elect. The name of this video is going to be called It's a Time of Hate. Alright? A time of hate. This is the time that we're living in right now. Okay? A time of hate. And all hell is getting ready to break loose. And these are the scenarios that's going to be happening when everything is shut down. When chaos begins in Babylon, America, and really all over the world. So I'm going to start off with Ecclesiastes 3. I'm going to read to the top, and then I'm going to get to the point of two specific scriptures I want to get. And I'm going to start off, and it says, to everything there is a season, you see. And a lot of times, you know, people's talking about, you know, especially these Christian churches, oh, peace, peace, peace. The Lord's coming to bring peace. You know, we should be in a peaceful spirit. The Lord, see, there's a time for everything. All right. And right now we're in a time of hate and we're in a time of war. Okay. And really that's how everybody is. Okay. Because there's a season for everything, like the scripture says. All right. It says to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. All right. And these these purposes under the heaven is specifically for the second coming of the Lord. All right. Which his name is Yahweh Shai. First and foremost, the name of our Heavenly Father is Yahweh. Yah means he, Hawa means is to be, exists. And his only begotten Son, his name is Yahweh Shai. Yah means he, Hawa Shai means salvation, Savior, Deliverer. Alright, so it says, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. So everything there's a season. Third verse, a time to kill and a time to heal. And right now, where hearts are growing cold, when we get into Jacob's trouble, we're in the time of killing right now. Lawlessness is coming to at an all-time high. All right, because why? We're in a lawless world, we're in a lawless place, and when Jacob's trouble comes, all hell gonna break loose. A lot of people are gonna be in that time. All right, it says, let me get to the point. It says a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to break down, a time to build up. And right now, we're in a time of breaking down Babylon. Okay? The Lord is literally breaking down Babylon. And this is why you're going to see the people attacking each other. Okay? It says a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. And we're in a time of mourning. And these are the things that's getting ready to happen. Now the question is why these things are getting ready to happen. I'm going to get to 8 and I'm going to explain it to you. A time to love and a time to hate. And this, like I said, the name of this video is called We're in the Time to Hate. This is the time that we're in right now. Okay? As you've seen in that video, okay, which he was a sniper. I think he was a Marine. And he says we're due for all hell to break loose. We're due for lawlessness. We're due for shit to hit the fan, man. All right, and that's the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, because that's what the Lord's getting ready to bring in. That's part of the Lord's plan. It says a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. And what are we seeing all over the world right now? Okay, a time of war. What did Yahweh Shai say was going to be happening? All right. Let me get that real quick. This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 30. Let me go up a little bit. Slack you. This is Matthew 24. And I'm going to start with, matter of fact, let me start from the top. This is Matthew 24:1. And Yahweh Shai went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Yahweh Shai said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And that was talking about 70 AD. Okay, when the Romans came about the children of Israel, basically the southern tribe, okay, in the temple, and what? Overthrew them. All right, starved them out, all right, and then destroyed them and put them in slavery. All right, but the Lord had warned, okay, his people, okay, to flee to the mountains when they see these things, man. But the ones that didn't listen, the ones that didn't take heed to it, all right, they got overthrown by the Roman. And that was in 70 AD. Now there's another prophecy that Yahweh Shai was talking about. That's his second coming. Now check this out. It says, third verse, and he sat upon the Mount Olives. The disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And Yahweh Shai answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. And that's the time you're living in. The time of Yahweh Shai coming back. And these are the signs of him coming back, which is the time of war. All right? Yahweh Shai said, What will I, if it be already kindled? I came to bring fire upon the earth. And what will I, if it be already kindled? All right? There's going to be wars when Yahweh Shai, in the signs of Yahweh Shai coming back. And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not be troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet. Now check this out, because these are the things that's getting ready to happen. Okay? Specifically in Babylon, really all over the world, but it's gonna be the worst in Babylon. It says, For nation shall rise against nation. And what is that talking about? Race wars. Race wars will be happening in Babylon, just like it said in that video. And kingdom against kingdom, which means country against country. We see what's going on with Israel, Iran, America, Russia, China, Taiwan. You see? Russia, Ukraine. And there shall be famines. All right? A lot of people don't understand that all these, the northern kingdom that these ICE been coming after, all right? Who's working these farms? Who's taking these fruits? Who's bringing the fruits, all right, out of the farmland? Who's tending to the animals? Okay? See, everything has a reaction. And all these things are by design. It says, and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. And we've seen all these things. And all these are the beginning of sorrows, which is what? Jacob's trouble. Okay? 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 15. Hey, the Lord talked about it. This is all through the scriptures. This is going to be a time that has never been seen before. All right? People are going to be out for themselves and their family. These are the times that we're getting ready to come into. And these are the times, and you see the vibrations of the people. You see what time it is with these people, man. And like I said, it's only going to get worse. Let me start with 15. It says, 14. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 14. It says, Woe to the world. Woe means destruction. And them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh. Sword means what? Your modern day gun. Okay, but it can also mean actual. So people can have machetes, okay, guns, bow and arrows, all types of things out here, man. To protect themselves and feed themselves and protect their families and feed their families. You better believe it. You heard what he said. It says, For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another with swords in their hands. And that's exactly what's going to happen, and what this soldier, I think his name is Nicholas, all right, which he's a Marine, that was a sniper. I think he had, I think he had 33 kills. Not too sure. I could find out, but I think he had like 33 kills. But he's one of the top elite snipers, man. And he said if we was living in a lawless society where you only make the rules, all right, it's gonna be a bad thing for people out here, and there's gonna be many people like that, man. This is why only the men of the Lord, okay, are gonna be delivered, because even these dudes, that if you don't have the Lord, you can get taken out too. Okay, only the men of the Lord, the elect, is going to make it out of this time. All right, and all this time, all these things that's going to be going on is to bring about that RFID chip. Okay, all this chaos is going to be happening is to bring about that RFID chip, man. But it's really of the Lord. It says 16th verse, for there should be sedition among men. And you see that happening right now. You see these politicians that, okay, that got taken out to the spirit world, okay, by other men. All right, these things are happening now, but they're going to intensify. For there should be sedition among men and invading one another. These are the times we getting ready to live in. He said we due for it. Babylon, America is due for a time like this, man. This is why the Lord said it's going to be a time that has never been before and never seen before. It says, for there should be sedition among men and invading one another. People can be robbed, going to people's houses, taking whatever they need to take, taking out whoever they need to take out, okay, to survive. Okay, even staying in your spot, they'll take you out and stay in your and stay in your spot, man. This is how bad it's gonna be. This is why it's good to watch movies like The Book of Eli, The Road. All right. It says, for there should be sedition among men and invading one another. They should not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. They're not gonna be listening to no presidents or no mayors, okay, or no politicians. Because while we're in a time of a great awakening, people are waking up to the corruption of this society, to the corruption of the so-called Republicans and the so-called Democrats, man. Knowing that what, they're all part of the same party. People's waking up to Trump right now. It says, a man shall desire to go into a city and should not be able. What is that talking about? Martial law, which will be placed in America. Please believe it. Somehow, some way, there will be martial law in America very soon. This ain't gonna last up to 2030, like he said. He doubts it lasted. This pops over 2030. This is coming. This is happening within 2025, man. 2026, 2027. All right. Things are getting right. Things are moving fast. And it behooves of you, so-called black Spanish Americans, Israelite foreigners that believe in this truth, to prepare yourselves. All right. Through Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. It says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. Yeah. What's going to happen when the lights go out? What's going to happen when you can't buy food in the stores? Can't get no water. All right. You don't know what's going on in the news. There's no answers. Nobody's telling you what's going on. All right. The cities will be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed and men shall be afraid. Why is houses going to be destroyed? Because people's going to be going in people's houses and taking whatever they want to take, man. 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And what tribulation is that? This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, verse 5. And it reads, it says, for thus saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Who's doing that? Not the news, because the news is talking about peace. All right? They're trying to quail the people. And in that, you've seen the chaos. Okay? Who's really warning the people? The prophets. The prophets of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, which are the apostles and elders of great millstone, and all the brothers all the way down, all right, that's speaking this truth. It says, "For thus saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. And only the elect is going to take to this warning." 2/3 of the people want this place to go down. 2/3 of people, 2/3 of our people don't want to hear this. They either take it for a joke, all right, or they don't believe. It says, "Ask ye now and see whether a man doeth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail?" Because there's going to be, like I said, a major famine. You have ICE taking away only the northern kingdom, which they mainly work the farms and in these no industry corporations, man. I'm talking about companies where you're washing the fruit, you're putting it in the basket, you're tying it up. Okay, I forgot the name of it. Okay, but these basically the workers, man. Who do you think working for? Not Esau, not you, Southern Kingdom. Okay, it's mainly the Northern Kingdom that's doing all the hard work, picking off the fruit, tending to the cattle and the animals. Those are the workers that Esau hires, man. So who's gonna be tending to the field? Who's gonna be tending to the animals? This is how this famine is gonna happen, man. It says, "Ask ye now and see whether a man doeth travail with child." Watch how the supermarket, as things become less and less, as you start seeing less and less things, the prices of things are gonna skyrocket. Because why? Because you have lack of production. Now let's think about the truck drivers. The truck drivers don't have produce to bring in the trucks. Where the hell are they going? See, everything has a domino effect. You see? To every cause, there is a reaction. Ask ye now, Jeremiah 36, "Ask ye now and see whether a man doeth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." All faces will be turned into paleness, man, because people are not going to know what's going on. They're not going to know what to do, because people are used to getting their things through the government, Big Brother. And this time that's going to be so bad, all right? Only the elect is going to be the ones that's going to be delivered out of this time. This is Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. And the reason says, "And at that time shall Michael, Mayaka Allah, he who is like the Most High, stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people." And now check this out. "And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that should be found written in the book." And the time that Daniel's talking about is the time that Jeremiah is talking about, and it's the time that Nicholas is talking about, man. And starting with the Apostle Nels Great Millstone, the prophet's been talking about. But in that scenario, when he said we're due for all hell to break loose, we're due for race wars, okay, and sedition, and all lawlessness, okay, which is in Babylon, America. This is what the prophet's been talking about. You see? Let me get this in Second Ezra real quick. Let's say fight against another. I think it's Second Ezra 5 and 15. Salakia. Let me get it real quick. It's like it was Second Ezra 13 and 31. It says, "And one shall undertake to fight against another." This is the time we in. This is what's gonna happen very soon, which is the time of Jacob's trouble. There is no friends. There is no neighbors. You see? "And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another." You understand? All right? These are the type of thing. It's going to be all out chaos. Every man for themselves. This is the type of spirit the Lord is going to put on the people. This is why Ecclesiastes, all right, the 3rd chapter says, what? A time of peace and a time of war. A time for hate, all right, and a time for love. We're in a time of hate. We're in a time of war. We're in a time of killing. This is the vibration that's out here. And it's only going to intensify. It says this is 2nd Ezra chapter 13 verse 31. And one shall undertake to fight against another. One city against another. One place against another. One people against another. You see? One people against another. Race wars. And one realm against another. Which is going to be Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Yahweh sending Yahweh Shai, and Archangel Michael coming down to fight Satan and his technology. You see? And these are the times we live in. Let me get one more scripture real quick. All right, these are the times we live in. The time of real lawlessness is getting ready to happen in Babylon, man. It's getting ready to go down out here in Babylon. This is what the Illuminati on the left-hand side is getting ready to do. They're getting ready to bring in that chaos, to bring in the New World Order. This is why the whole thing with Israel and Iran is going down. Okay, when you there's a dude named Aleister Crowley in his book. Is either I think it's Aleister Crowley or Pike. But in their book it talks about the Third World War. All right, and how they're going to bring the New World Order through that. But the Lord is going to put a wrench in their plans. Okay? All this is to bring about that RFID chip, which is written about in Revelation, the 13th chapter, the 15th verse all the way down. All right? Let me put Egypt against Edom Slacker real quick. And that's what's going to happen. It's going to be Egypt against Egypt. Okay? Slack, let me get it. This is Isaiah chapter 19, verse 1. It says, the burden of Egypt. And this is the great burden that's going to be upon Egypt. And you see it right now happening, which is America. Egypt is symbolic for America. Why? Because Egypt is a place where they had the children of Israel in captivity. Okay, and that's right on your dollar bill. It says, the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, rideth upon a swift cloud. And that's talking about what them chariots. It shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And that's going to be at the end. But in the end, because Yahweh Shai said, what will I if it be already kindled? He's coming with fire. People's going to be lawless. All right. And that's what it said in 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, the 31st verse. When the Lord comes back, people in Babylon, while the missiles are about to hit, okay, they're gonna be lawless. They're gonna be fighting against one another, being, rape, robbing, okay, doing all types of stuff before the missiles hit, man. It says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. The same thing that 2nd Ezra 13th chapter, all right, the 31st verse said. It says, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof. And that's what's getting ready to happen very soon. You see, you people that take that chip, you're going to be in derision, because there's still going to be a famine. All right? All hell's still going to break loose. All right? So listen, it's the hell, all because you take that chip doesn't mean that things are going to be all better after that, man. See, the Lord's going to have you people in derision that take that RFID chip, man, because it's still going to be chaos. It says, the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. And that's these elites, man, when they realize that shit ain't going their way. Okay, that the New World Order is not going the way it's planned, man. All right, because Yahweh, because knowing, all right, we know that Yahweh, all right, is in all control of Esau, Edom, and they're going to find out the hard way. All right, and we get 4, because this is what's happening right now, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and that's Trump. All right, you Americans, you Egyptians, All right, you voted for this man, and this is going to bring this kingdom to end. And a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts. And that's what's happening right now. This place is being destroyed, and in this place being destroyed, the Egyptians shall be against the Egyptians. People are gonna go against each other. There's not gonna be no more neighbors, and we're just all gonna get along. Because as soon as this government takes away these people's bread, it takes away their 401k, okay, take away their houses, take away their things that are precious to them. They don't have their job anymore. Can't go to work and can't get their money. People are gonna go bonkers on each other, man. All right. So with that, I like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Makakwadash. Double honors to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who are the apostles and elders of Rasharella. Peace and salutations to the Bayath Dawadah, the house of David, the elect. So till next time, Shalom.
We're heading toward another war right here
Yep. Been
in
saying,
the good old US of A.
been preaching it. We're due for one. We're due for one. We're due for it. I'm telling you, we're due for it. I think eventually this bubble's gonna pop. That's my theory. I don't think that this can go on for too much longer. I give it like to 2030 before. I don't think we're gonna make it to that far, but we're on a slippery slope towards another civil war, and I'm not going to say I'm cool with that. I think a lot of people think they want it, but I don't think they're ready for the type of environment and the people who operate in environments like that. I don't think they're ready for that. The last thing, and I was talking to my wife about it, the last thing you want is guys like me out on the streets fighting a war with no rules of engagement, where I make up my own. And you don't want that. The average civilian's not ready for that. Like, why is Nick doing that? Why did Nick do this to me? Because only Nick matters. Only my family. At the end of the day, yeah, guerrilla warfare is a bitch. And you're my friend one moment, but the next moment, if you got something I want or I need to take care of my family, I won't let you know about it. And I'm going to kill the block. That's the way it should be. That's war.